welcome to Marvel Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view, as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time, and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. So, from the title, we're speaking about Umoya wa Makhosi, the spirit of royalty, spiritual royalty, or in this case, how that energy of whatever royalty it is channeled through your spirituality, basically, right? Moya wa Makhosi. That will spread out into other things that I'm not sure about now, but which I'm sure I've put in the description though. So cool. And then I'm also going to pull cards at the end, right? And give you guys an oracle or a tarot reading concerning this transmission. So, of course, royalty, kings, queens, emperors, and empresses. The people I'm speaking today are connected to spirits that are of royal descent. So, through your bloodline, it can be a quantum origin bloodline, it can be recent bloodline, it can be you have one of those surnames where you know you're part of a royal family. But I feel like the people I'm speaking to today are more from it's kind of what I would call spiritual royalty, where I'm a Semanzin or I'm a Pezulu, so the galactic like royal bloodlines, or I wanted to say marine, but water. Water, royal entities that you are connected to through some quantum origin, and that coming up in your template right now because you obviously have access to the information that's there that would allow you to expand yourself and the way in which you process your reality so that you can, go more smoothly into this life thing. But I also feel like if you're a person that's walking with royal spirits or entities, and if that's activated within you right now, there is a kind of like purpose attached to your destiny of some sort, and the reason why it's coming now is because that destiny is being activated, whatever it is. So the concept of having kings and queens and emperors and empresses and priests and priestesses, we can put that there also. When it started out, it was a matter of these particular people being people that seemed to be different from the rest of the community. I did a quantum origin reading recently. I've asked this client of mine for permission to just like use this part of his reading as an example because it actually blew me away. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I find out a lot of stuff actually through quantum origin readings that I channel for people. It's like it's crazy. It's insane in a great way. So for example, right, like there's clients of mine, their ancestor, let's say like you're in like a community and you guys are going on about your day, but then like their ancestor in particular was kind of like on some bored with the mundane everyday things and kind of hungered for more, hungered for, this was before there were kings and queens. So hear me out. Like, so they just hungered for like more information. They wanted to know more things about nature, about the things around them. Like, they could kind of feel like the pull of the power of things, be it the river, be it like whisperings in the wind, be it like messages in the rain, like feeling recharged from the sun, feeling like there's something you didn't know, but all of a sudden you do know because you were outside during a full moon, something like that. But at this point, I guess people were mostly just, in survival mode, just trying to survive, just trying to get by, just trying to not, perish from whatever was causing people to perish at that time. But this particular person was curious about life, curious about everything, and they kind of felt like they wanted to go explore, wanted to go out there and see what's out there. They figured there must be other people, other civilizations, right? They knew there's obviously other civilizations, but that they could learn from, that they could find out more about the world from. So one day they packed up and they left. And long story short, to not get into this person's like, intimate details, but basically they found this community, and in that community it was just different. Like everything was lighter. And again, without disclosing too many details, the people from that community started to teach him certain things. Not even directly teaching him, but he started watching them, being involved in their daily activities. So he stayed with this community for a while and he became part of their community for a while, like 3 years or so. And within that, like, learned all these new things because they would do things very differently. There's a way in which they would take their baths, raise their children. There's a way in which they would treat nature. There's a way in which they would, it was almost as if they were able to speak to the stars, speak to the moon, speak to the darkness, like the night. Um, they were able to perform acts that seemed magical in his eyes, but then he was later taught about how this can be brought about through your own thought patterns or your own emotional patterns. So he learned ways in which to process certain emotions, process certain thoughts in order to bring about certain experiences. And how everyone in this community was doing that based on how they also processed their reality, but also how they expressed how they processed their reality. Do you get what I mean? These people were living their higher teachings. It wasn't just words. It wasn't just like, I know this. They were experientially higher vibrational beings. So at some point, like, he decides that he's going to go back to his people, maybe with the intention of bringing some of them back to this community. Who knows? But anyway, he goes back to his community, and I suppose the idea of going back falls away because he basically settles back into his community and he decides, great, I'm going to stay here. And he begins to obviously live the way he was living with these people that he was living with for 3 years, right? And he starts kind of, yeah, I don't know how to explain it also. It's kind of like he took a piece of that place back with him. I mean that metaphorically. Within himself, because he was now living out that frequency that he was able to tap into while he was at that place. So he's now doing these things that he used to do there. Like, this dude is out here using water to heal, speaking to the stars at night, like planting his food a certain way, mixing certain like herbs together, certain things together to help with this, help with that. Um He's got certain times for certain things. Like, it can be small things like washing hair in the morning and never in the evening. It can be small things up to really big things, to like even building certain equipment to help with better everyday things. Now, this community is looking at this person every day do these things different. This is not the way they do things. And now this person is doing these things this way, and they just watch him. They watch him. and they ask him questions and he answers, he teaches them. And it's not just like these physical things, it's also obviously about like advice, like people's marriages, how people are raising children, people's relationships, like all of these things in the community, where he suddenly has these answers for people to help them navigate their own daily situations. The people begin to look up to him, the people respect him, the people see him as a leader. They trust him to guide them, help them develop into more expanded versions of themselves because they can see it in him. And so we have one of our first kings, or one of our first chiefs, maybe. Let's start there. One of our first kings, if that's what you want to call it. And so if you have so many of these reoccurrences, because I don't want to talk about that community and what that community was, but you'll understand how this community would just pop up in these different places, and all of a sudden someone is called from their community to come to this place and learn these things, go back to their community, share it with their community, and then their community starts to see them as this person, this leader. And essentially that's what royalty was about. That's what being king, queen, emperor, empress was about. It was about a responsibility to a certain group of people, where you assist these people in their development, in their evolution into becoming greater versions of themselves, by teaching them. It can be the smallest things. Can I tell you, it can be something like it, it can be something like a please and thank you. I think we underestimate like how far we've come in, let's say, so-called civilization, but expansion, like the art of gratitude. To be grateful for someone doing something for you, how that opens up certain aspects of yourself. And I think it's because we're not aware of frequency technology, of the mechanics of expansion. We think it's always got to be some like physical ritual that takes us there, and we don't understand how it's so much awareness. It's the awareness. It's the awareness of your state of being, of you, in relation to your surrounding, in your relation to another person, and so forth and so forth. And so, yeah. And why would this one person be chosen in order to like get this calling to leave their community and go to this place? Because they would have a certain template that allows that kind of expansion. And that's why when they come back, they will always be so far ahead, like light years ahead than the rest of the community, which would obviously allow them to guide this community and so forth. I know that's not what royalty is today, but this is for those of you ebahamba nomoya like wa Makhosi. This is what it was about when it started. It wasn't always about rulership and conquering and all of this and that. And, energy can be interpreted however you want to interpret it. I know we like to think certain things are wrong and certain things are right, but honestly, you can take an energy and, bruh, that dough can make bread, it can make a muffin, it can make a croissant, it can make ipao, whatever it is that you want to make, you know what I mean? But the core of that dough, that is that royalty, was a otherworldly, expansive template that allows for human development and evolution and passing that on. It was a way in order to kind of infiltrate a community and develop that community and evolve that community through kingship, through that which is royalty. and those of you ebahamba namakhosi, ebahamba with, like, those of you who are walking with these royal spirits, this royal blood within you, this is an activation basically for that part of you. um there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't know if that should maybe be in a separate reading. But just to give you an idea, the Draconians, we need to talk about the Draconians as a as a as star beings. Now Draconians get a bad rep. I feel like, just like all the entities I talk about on this channel, like very misunderstood. Very misunderstood. I think mostly because they're reptilian. So we all know how that goes. And I think you'd be surprised, those of you in Hamba Namakosi, because you know how, like, when you walk with these royal spirits and entities, how you'll dream of like leopards and lions. Some of you dream about dragons. Um, And it's such an interesting perspective, because sometimes you will be human in the dream, and yet there's this thing that is a leopard or a lion, sometimes in your house, which is such a contrast, right? Because your house is for humans, and here's this like wild apex predator, like in the surrounding, maybe going through the rooms in your house, or you're dreaming of yourself gardening, and there's a whole leopard like watching you, almost stalking you, like from away. Some of you will even dream of yourselves being bitten by these animals. I mean, talk about an introduction, right? Wild. And the reason why they hardly come as people, because they do sometimes come as people, but why they hardly come as people, it's to when these spirits ne Zamakhosi start coming to you as these animals, that's an actual introduction. Like, that's when they're now wanting to tell you, like, this is what we are, the origin of what that is, because it's no longer the part where, oh, you come from this royal family that ruled Asia and the Indias and the and the and the and the and the upper African plains or whatever. It's no longer that. Now you're getting introduced to the, like, I want to say, non-human aspect of it, where it's like we're past this part now. We need to introduce you to kind of like the origin of this. And that's why they'll come as those animals, because it's also communicating like a shape-shifting type of characteristic of the spirit, also communicating the non-humanness of it all. And this goes back to, so the story I was telling with the king, and well, with the guy who first went to this community. One day we'll talk about this community and who were these people in this community. He saw them as human, but they weren't. They're not human. And if he was to go back to that community, he wouldn't even find it. It wouldn't be there anymore. It was specifically there for him to find it. He doesn't understand that he was, well, at the time, he didn't understand that he was called there. It was a calling. That restlessness in him wanting to go find more and whatnot was that he was being called to that. That was the whole initiation, the time that he spent with that community, those years. It was always going to result in him becoming that which he became within his community. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards now. Oh, wait. I mean, yeah, I guess with the Draconians, yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. I'll do a separate reading where we speak about the Draconians. But for now, I just wanted to talk about how, okay, firstly, Draconians, like, the energy of Draconians, like I said, is very misunderstood, like very seen as like, oh, dark, evil, blah, 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 blah. Not just very, very kind of like divine masculine energy, very disciplined, very much like the Draconian in you is very closely linked to the your true template. It's the law of your true template. Um and it's the part of you that will never come up if you are still, testing out the wilderness, like testing out your social, like, um testing out your templates from like your social constructs. Like it's okay for you to be out there playing. And people with that draconian energy are like natural leaders, and people kind of look to your leadership, but also there's this like hardness in these people that you sometimes get people being afraid of you. And if you haven't yet stepped into this part of yourself, to be honest, you're afraid of you. You become afraid of you. And the result of that is that you always pull back from this leadership characteristic that you hold, and you kind of want to let other people play the leader and whatnot. It never ends well. It never ends well. And a lot of you are being called to your place in your life to take on this role because, yeah, you know, you got that royal blood. Y'all get where I'm going with this, right? Okay, cool. I'm going to pull cards now. Okay, let's pull some cards. I want to say this thing that I keep holding back. Anunnaki are Draconian. There, I said it. The Anunnaki are Draconian. Like, I know how Syrians are Draconian. And I know how, like, the way we look at Starbeings, we tend to separate a lot of them. I could tell you more Starbeings that are Draconian, but people will be like, no, these Starbeings came to us as tall white beings with white hair up to their ankles. Yeah, boo, they hacked you and found an image that you would be comfortable with seeing in order to pass on a message. Like sometimes the way people describe Pleiadian beings, like how they saw them, but then the way they be telling us, like, they are like this, they are like that. No, that's what you do when you can shapeshift. When you can shapeshift, and when you can hack someone's like mainframe, like their mind basically, and find out what they're comfortable with, like what image would make them feel comfortable. Like you do that and then you present yourself to that as them just so that you can leave your message like peacefully and bounce and not have any resistance from the person or bring up fear from the person, because you're not trying to scare them. You're not trying to come across as whatnot to them. Like you want them to receive this message properly and like move on. Just like the person in our story and how they came across a whole community of just like these nice people. And yeah, because they are nice. But yeah. So like in today's day and age, those of you like who do have this royal bloodline like within your blueprints and your templates, obviously it's not a matter of you guys like actually becoming like what today is kings or queens and whatnot, but it's more about what is this. Sorry. Okay, cool, we'll get to that. It's more about you carrying out the original mission that all of that was about. And it can be through addressing many people at a time, but it can also be through just your normal day-to-day things. It can be with how you raise your kids, how you conduct yourself in your home, with your family, with your people around you. Those people closest around you are the ones that have also been chosen in order to absorb that energy and expand their worlds and their lives, and through their lives people will see them do it, and then they will connect to that energy, ganjalo ganjalo ganjalo, but that energy will have begun um with you being, I guess, the source of it in that community. You get what I mean? um and I don't think this is anything too new to the people I'm speaking to. You guys always seem to have the attention of people around you, even people that claim to not like you always be looking at you. Again, these are people that are actually quite assertive, and they may not be wanting to lead a whole people, but people realize how in your life, like, you're a great leader. Like, you are you're serious about your life. You're serious about the way you conduct yourself, the person you want to become. You actually make moves in order to become that person, in order to make certain things a reality in your life. And people are aware of that. It's weird because yesterday I was talking about how people are watching you, and I feel like this is kind of connected to that. Because again, awareness is an ability, or someone observing you is an ability to transmit like energy towards that person, so then that person is also able to activate those parts of their template. But if they are in a state of resistance, then it does make them hate on you, so to say, like, or maybe bring up feelings of envy of like, why am I not like that, not realizing that no, this is actually an activation. You are like that. It's just that right now you're in circumstances that don't reflect that, but should you go through these circumstances in this way, you will then tap into this part of yourself that is just like this person. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, but what's this? Yeah, a lot of you, like, this royal bloodline in your template has been, I want to say, like, oh, it's been dormant for such a long time. You don't even know that you have it. And this is like, Amakhosi ne. They okay. Firstly, I didn't speak about how Amakosi are very obviously closely related to self initiates. A lot of self initiates, or what we now in the community call self initiates, is really closely related to Amakosi. So you may be wondering, like, why is it that you went through or you are going through this self initiate thing, and who are these guides? Who are these guides that are helping you do this, helping you learn how to interpret other people's energies, helping you learn how to process your energies, other people's energies, helping you learn how to transmute, how to become this healer, or just how to become this, like, more expansive, better version of yourself. And these are the ones. These are the ones. These the the royal spirits in your bloodline, these are the ones, these are the teachers. It's like basically you are the same person that I was talking about that left their community and went to like another community, and they tell them that's what you are going through in your self initiation. It's just obviously over the, like, over lifetimes it can feel like that, or it can feel like you're in mystery school, but the teachers in your mystery school are these spirits. They are the ones teaching you. A lot of people that are self-initiates, abantu ebanamakhosi. Don't be afraid of how dominant your energy is. don't be afraid of how much of a shapeshifter you are, because these are people that adapt really, really well. I don't know why I feel like I want to cry. Okay, weirdo. Hey guys, you see why I need to take breaks sometimes? It's real. So don't be afraid of how easily you're able to shift, like how you're sometimes able to, because I know that sometimes we so much want to be a specific identity or personality, and these are people that tend to adapt to the situation. You don't fight the flow, boo. That's not what you do. Like, you don't fight the flow. You're flexible. Your energy is very flexible, and what you don't understand is that that's why you're always the last one standing. That's why you're always the one who survives the war, the one who comes out on top, like in all these situations that were apparently supposed to put you down or supposed to, end up with you being sabotaged or whatever it is, like some challenging situation that was maybe brought on by like other people or certain circumstances. It's this ability you have to change into the wind when you need to change into the wind. It's this ability you have to be small, like Alice in Wonderland, when you need to be small. And knowing when the season has changed and now allows you to be your big full size and show people them big wolf teeth, and be that part of you that you're always dreaming about. And also when it's time to just be this like old lady that likes tea and rusks, and likes to sit by the sun like a lizard. Allow all these parts of yourself to come up and come through. Being a leader is being a leader is not always like this whole thing of, oh queen, oh king, oh emperor, empress. It's not always about like barking out orders or like having this certain face about you or this certain personality of like, yeah, you can never catch me slipping or like whatever. It's about some, like, so much more than that. It's about so much. Oh my god, I love this. I love this. Look at this. The ancient ones completion, which are more like with the, yeah, because now things are coming up that I don't have words for it. It's about so much more than that. There's a reason why these beings, Draconians, maybe have been around for such a long time, even infiltrated what is like people and humans and Earth and so many other galaxies out there. Number one, because there's so much about exploration and learning and always finding out more and more and more. I can always give you examples of how one set of group of a civilization that you know as this name actually evolved into this, or and then evolved into this. And most of the time those civilizations have draconian foundations, because Draconians are beings that have mastered the art of evolution through expansion. And yes, sometimes through limitations, because limitations are also necessary in order to expand sometimes. And that's why I say that even if you have to be Alice in Wonderland and sometimes be small, it's okay. Like the winds will change and you'll be able to be big again. But allow nature to mold you into what you need to be. in order to live the life you want. Nature hears you. It hears what you are saying you want. But some of you don't understand what it actually takes to get there. And I'm not saying it takes like, oh my God, mountains and mountains and like, oh, fire and brimstone. No, but sometimes it does. And that's okay. You don't understand that you're made of the kind of stuff that like would enjoy that. But anyway, I'm going in too far. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys. If that reading resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a personal reading or a mentorship session, all that information is in the description box. Later, y'all.